Let me show you my countryside through these old headlights. We can take this road as far as you want to go. I'll show you how a country mile can take us all night. Feeling higher than a bull's tail up an old dirt road. I ain't gonna run or hide. We can let the fire burn wild. That's just my countryside.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. We are here just on the edge of our trail here. We woke up and I really kind of wanted to do some trimming up on this trail because I would like to use it with the boys, but we really can't use it very much because there's just so many blackberry brambles that really block a lot of the walking areas. So we're here. My husband has the weed whacker, so he's back there kind of doing some of these taller grasses, and I have the pruning shears where I am just going through and kind of just getting the overhang of those blackberry brambles to kind of just push them back just a little bit. Any of the ones that I can get down to the base of, I will do that, but you got to kind of trim it down from the top so that when you go to cut that bottom part, that whole thing doesn't just come over on you. These things are really tough to deal with, which is why we really want to get pigs next year. So our goal right now is to get the fencing in for the sheep that are coming next year, and then after that I would like to be able to do some temporary fencing back here with the electric netting from Premier One, more than likely, to go ahead and just root up these blackberry brambles, because from what I hear, it's pretty much the only way to get rid of them. I do hear some people using Roundup, things like that, glyphosate. That is not something that we use within our farm, so that's not an option for us. So pigs, it sounds like we're gonna turn these blackberry brambles to bacon, and we'll do it that way. So anyways, I'm gonna take you back here, kind of show you a little bit what we're doing, and we'll get our day started. Okay, so he's back, like all the way back here, you can see with the white hat. I've just been kind of right here, working on some of the sides here, clearing some of that up. You can see some of the overhang right through here that we're gonna trim up, and really just getting it to where if we're walking back here, we're not having to be paranoid that something's gonna snag us or the kids. At least I won't be paranoid. So anyways, that's kind of what we're doing here.
As far as riding is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So when you look down this path, you want to look where it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but they're also going to grow bigger than they are now, so that's where I'm kind of wanting to do like a little over trimming. So not just what's there right now, I guess, but what's going to be there soon. You know?
Yeah, the more you trim now, the less you trim.
Right. If you're out here, might as well just do it a little bit more enhanced version. So one of the things that we loved about this property is that it had trails. So when we were looking for property, we actually created a list in my notes section on my phone, and he wanted trees. What did you want trees for? Just more of the shade?
I just like trees.
The trees, yeah.
I like a wooded lot.
The wooded lot. I did not want a wooded lot. I wanted more open space. And I love that this property has the trees on both sides of us. Granted, they're the neighbors' trees, most of them, besides what's on the property line. So there are some big trees, and then it's mostly cleared. which I appreciate because I need the vitamin D, I need the sun. Although I appreciate the character and the nostalgic part of the trees, I really wanted open. And then the other thing was some sort of water source on the property, as well as, what else was on there? It needed to be like 5 to 20 acres.
Trails would be a bonus.
And then we wrote that trails would be a bonus on there. And this already had trails on it. So the last, what would you say this is, like 10 acres?
Yeah, that's probably 5 or 6, and then this is
5
probably
up
10.
there by the house, and then 10 back here, and then probably about an acre of worth of driveway area-ish. So yeah, so I love that we have the trails here. We just need to continue to maintain them is the only thing. So that can be probably prove more of, it's not hard, it just takes time. So we just have to carve out time from the other projects to get back here and accomplish it. So there is a lot of, because this area was clear cut, our whole property was clear cut with all the trees. I don't know why are these back part trees so much bigger than what was in the front, do you think?
That's a great question. I don't know.
We noticed that there really wasn't a whole lot of like taller trees that were
like
taller than us.
Maybe 2 or 3 feet in the whole front.
Yeah.
And back here, there's 7, 8, 10-foot trees already.
So definitely the back part has like tall trees, way taller than us, but the front part did not have that. So I don't know what that is. But we do have some pines growing back here. We have some tulip trees and lots of like taller bushes. So there are a lot of things that we do want to keep back here, which is the other reason why we really want to put pigs back here, because they'll just kind of do the underbrush and clear that up. They'll root up those blackberry brambles. And you just really want to make sure that you get a rooting pig, not a pasture pig. So like the coonies are pasture pigs. We would need more of like the Berkshire, Yorkshire, those types of things, those types of pigs. So anyway, so that's kind of why, why we're doing this. We really want to maintain these trails, and then eventually turn it into pasture would be nice. But as it sits right now, it is extremely rocky. We're just going to work on the trails, and then hopefully next year we'll be able to put some pigs out here and just start kind of clearing a lot of this underbrush. There's a hawk. There's a crow.
Thank you, Mr. Crow. They're also planting themselves, just like the pine trees did. There's a maple, there's a maple. Those are all maples. See all the reddish ones?
Yeah.
Those are all maples.
That's what plant goes up in my garden, and there's people saying that basically it's the type of soil that we have.
Yeah.
Is why those red maples are crazy.
A good soil or bad soil?
Acidic.
Oh.
Like bad, well, I guess if there is a bad soil, every soil just is what it is, but I don't think there really is
Here's one here too.
bad. Yeah.
Let me bring my phone. You got?
Yeah, do you want me to scan it?
Yeah, can you pause the video and scan it? That's reddish through there.
Yeah.
Those are all red maples.
Yeah.
But the butt cracks first with the biggest rocks. And then once the butt crack's done, we'll just start slowly.
So can you
over.
is to them what the butt crack is? Because I started recording.
So next to our
Not
driveway,
your butt crack.
next to our driveway is downhill, and it slopes in from one side this way. So where those off the driveway and where that slope meets, we got a lot of erosion. So we talked to an excavation guy. He said you really just have to put riprap in there, so just big rocks, a couple loads of big rocks. So pan down and show these rocks down here. The land here is covered with these type of rocks, and the biggest ones, last year we started dumping them in the top part of it, and it actually has caught silt and now is growing grass. So now we need to take a bunch more of these loads and do the whole thing, so as water rushes down there, it'll drop its solids. Eventually over time it'll stop degrading because of the rocks, and it'll drop solids. It'll start to grow grass and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by the,
So
we call it the butt crack.
Butt cracks and
Because
solids.
it's something we
Gonna go
worry about.
do a solid. So we were just talking, and I think because of the difference between what's back here, like we were just talking about this big pine, like the front half of our property did not have anything near this. I mean, everything was like 1 to 2 feet tall of like the pines and the trees. So I think what they did is before we got it, our realtor had bought it from a lawyer, you said? Mm-hmm. And
the lawyer he wanted to put a trailer park or a trailer park community on this 16 acres, but they can only find one spot in the front that tested for septic, got approved, perked for a septic system. So
yeah,
he held on to it for a couple of years, and then the realtor we bought it from bought it like about a year before we bought it. So he bought it, sold the front, they built 3 houses, and kept the back almost 17 acres, and then we bought it from him.
So we think that they kind of went back here and cleared, like a first round of clearing, and then just kind of made a way out of the property, and then they came back a second time at a different time and did the front half, is what I'm assuming, unless things are just completely jacked from that idea. But anyway,
it just doesn't make any sense of how big the trees are on the back half when there were no trees on the front half.
Yeah. So anyways, that's us just trying to make sense of something that we'll probably never know the answer to, but it's just interesting to look at and kind of gauge an idea of like what happened and why that it would be like that. So yeah, like even some of these, like babe, like some of these, because they're gonna grow in, and sometimes the boys don't pay attention where they're going. So just cutting down more from off the trail.
This is like a weed of a tree, and the sweet gum's a weed
of
a tree.
I mean, that's all. I mean, again, like weeds are just perspective.
It's the trees that come in where there's crappy land and there's not. You know what I mean? Like,
well, some beautiful trees come in when it's
just like blackberries. The same place.
I know, but there's also pines growing right here. But so that's just perspective. But the tulip tree. So we just scanned this one, and it's a tulip tree. The tulip trees get really, really big. Like people say that they're gorgeous trees. I don't think I've ever actually seen. Oh yes, I've seen a ginormous one. They're beautiful, babe. Really? Yeah, we went to a park, the Uwari Lake, and they had a bunch like of the tulip trees, and they actually bloom these beautiful flowers, and the birds love them, from what everybody says. So, but they just said to make sure that where you have it is where you want it, because once it grows big, like there's no moving it because of how massive they get. But there's some of these big ones along the border there that are tulip trees. I just can't see the leaves close enough on those to see. But the one that I saw at the park, I mean, the leaves were like low to the ground with the branches. It was a huge tree, but it was gorgeous.
I'm gonna need the weed whacker for this.
Is that a trail?
It is. It's a grown-in trail.
Okay.
It's the trail that people were coming on the side. Goes up this trail.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too, is that we kind of let some of this go intentionally
on the edges, because
as it was vacant and there was trails back here, I know that they were some of the neighbors. We have like 2 neighborhoods, but one behind and one on the side, on the other side of the next property next to us. And they usually would ride their quads back here. So a lot of these trails they would utilize, which is great. And I appreciate the fact that they maintained them before we had it. But then they would try to ride also while we bought the property and we're working on the garden and the house and things like that. So we had like kind of a run-in with one of them that didn't go so well, but the other people were very nice. And obviously we told them we don't want people riding back here. Number 1, for liability. Number 2, for privacy. I mean, obviously most people don't want people riding on their property. So anyhow, we went around and put up no trespassing signs along all the entrances of how they would ride onto the property. So anyway, we put the no trespassing signs back here and kind of let it grow in to prevent people from just riding back here. So this tree, I would like to know what this is. I'm gonna
That's I think it's an oak tree.
Is it?
I think.
It doesn't look very healthy, does it? Looks a little scraggly.
It's got green coming on, but it is a little scraggly.
Anyway, I wanted to be able to do a tree house back here for the kids. If we can get this cleared enough with the blackberries and stuff for them to come back here, it would be just kind of a fun spot for them to explore. Okay, so we just scanned this huge one and it says it's a what?
A white oak.
It says Oregon white oak, but
So it's
I don't live anywhere near Oregon, but I guess it could still be that. See, there's a tulip tree right there.
Yeah.
So that one right there is a tulip tree. They have these beautiful little leaves that are in the shape of a tulip. They're gorgeous when they get big. That doesn't even have like property, like that lives in the neighborhoods, has some sort of like thorn type. Yeah, that.
Got me good on that one.
Ooh. Has some sort of thing that they battle, like poison ivy or blackberry brambles. We have just a lot of the blackberry brambles. Huh, babe?
Yep.
Because sometimes I think it's easy to get overwhelmed just by like everything, you know, it's like new that we've never really had to deal with, but it's just part of it. So I think that that's, I mean, it's definitely something that we have kind of struggled with, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it, especially when they get like a lot of property and they're not used to maintaining property and managing property, or they don't have property that is like already pasture, and there's this phase of transition to where your mindset, like it's like you're all excited, you're all in, you're all gung-ho, and then last year when things weren't going as quickly as I wanted them to go, or you know, you have this vision of what things are going to look like in your mind, and you know how you draw it on paper, and when things aren't happening fast enough, because number one, things take time, but also number two, the expensive things, especially during the times that we're in right now, it's insane. So I don't think enough people talk about like just that mental, like it gets a little bit hard. For me, it did, at least. And I know for my husband, like he just wants things to happen because he wants me to have my vision. And when it doesn't happen in the time that I want it to, it can seem like I'm ungrateful, although I'm grateful. It just gets almost like daunting knowing how much work that you have and just all of the things. So if you can relate, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things, especially with raw land, that is a bit of a struggle in that first year, especially if you've never owned property. So if that's you, you're definitely not alone. It can be a little bit of a struggle as we navigate this new territory, literally and figuratively. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. So just be encouraged, stick it out. It'll come, it'll get there. That's what I keep telling myself, and we're like leaps and bounds ahead of where we were at last year when I was kind of just mentally getting down in the dumps. So yeah, it's normal. It's kind of part of the process from what I've learned, at least in my experience. And it does not mean that I'm not grateful, although my attitude can kind of show that sometimes. I'm very grateful for what God has provided and what my husband has provided for his family, for our family. So
my hands are cramping, my arms are cramping.
Yeah, just in that short time of doing it, my hands were starting to cramp up, especially because I have like joint issues.
It's attacking me. Devil weed.
Not today, Satan, not today. things are a bear. Oh, it's insane, you guys. All right, y'all. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I'm going to go ahead and head inside. I don't want to work on this all day. Just kind of do it some here and there through different, different parts of our mornings. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. That's going to do it for us. Please hit the like and the subscribe button on your way out. I'll put some other videos from us up here on the screen, and you can go ahead and click those and check those out. So we'll catch you on the next video. See you later.
We can take this road